YouTube was good. It's your boy, Promise Harris, aka the Crazy Off. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time we post up new content. Hey, look, got a bomb burner for you today. And yes, it's Friday. I ain't got no job, and I ain't got shit to do. So, not the case. We're gonna talk about cocaine in the White House. We're gonna talk about the movie The Sounds of Freedom. We might bring up Jill Scott once again, um, but there's no like these are gonna be like the actual two things that that for the most part is actually really making news. I mean, because they I guess they just finished up with the investigation at the White House, so these motherfuckers they gonna sit up here and holler about, well, we don't know how it got in here or who brought it in here, and so that just goes to that just goes to show you that you know uh motherfuckers motherfuckers will indeed lie when they feel like when they do indeed feel like that it is necessary to lie. So uh hold on for a minute, I gotta do something like that. All right, had to get my other one because depending on how fast I drink, depending on how fast I drink this one, I can already have the other one. Really ain't gotta do no commercial break and all that kind of stuff. But as far as like this whole cocaine in the White House deal, and they sit up here and say, well, we don't know how I got in here. So, and I actually really think that, oh, President Biden, aka Brandon, right? He was up at Camp David or whatever. But but then again, I look at, because he act like here's a guy. He really don't look like he really don't look like he know what the fuck is going on. Like seriously, I mean, he just, I mean, yeah, well, watching, he just be walking around. He just like, what am I doing? Where am I supposed to go? That's just how he looked all the damn time, right? So let's see what happens this time around. What's good?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, maybe the updates that was going on, maybe that actually really did it. So, but well, yeah, man. A lot of stuff to talk about today. Uh, as with I don't know if you paid attention to the title, but I called it "Cocaine in the White House," and the sound, and we talk about the movie "Sounds of Freedom." We're gonna talk
Oh
about
yeah.
um, we're gonna throw Jill Scott in there. I mean, me and you, we talked about it on the over the phone a couple of days ago, but I feel like that we throw that in there. But first things first, gotta talk about this doggone cocaine issue in the White
Yeah.
House.
Shit.
So I'm just like, what in the fuck is going on? Because the thing about it though is this, because they say Biden wasn't there. Say he was up there at Camp David when all this shit was going on. So, uh,
Yeah.
but then, but then again, you look at you, I, you know, well, I know we ain't supposed to talk about the president of the United States, but this motherfucker, right? I swear, don't he just look like he confused, like he just lost in the damn sauce. Like
Exactly.
it's just like, well, what am I doing? What I'm supposed to say next? That just the look that he have on his face, And it's pretty much like what you said. Where the hell is Kamala at? Where is she at in all of this? You know, what she got to say? You know? So,
You know what's interesting is like I think what they call it, like I guess technically what they call it is a loss of confidence within leadership. And it appears to me that it's obvious that these individuals are up to something. And it's kind of pathetic. Not kind of pathetic.
it is pathetic.
So if you the bigger issue I have with it is people are making it a political issue where they say, "Oh, it's pathetic. This guy doesn't even know where he's at. He's pooping in his pants. He don't know what the fuck's going on. He don't know what day it is." The real issue is the security of the national security system, which is our country. And I think it's actually a bigger problem than people think because people are just like trying to like shit on them, which they should be doing. But to me, it's a bigger issue, which is the national security of this country. And if this is what's at the helm, at the top tier of leadership, people need to figure out what the fuck is going on because it's not so fucking kiki and haha. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And so just like say, yesterday I was going through some old stuff and you know how they always talk about how the creator of the Simpsons, right? You know how they actually like they'll do a cartoon and they'll predict shit and then
Oh yeah, I've seen some crazy shit like that. Yeah.
and then years later, then it actually happens. Well, I actually really pulled up. I mean, since this is the 50th year of hip hop, so Public Enemy is my favorite rap group of all time. So I went and pulled up one of the old videos. It's called Night of the Living Bassheads, right? So so they right there, they got their own little news media going on, and so MC Light, she was like one of the television reporters. So they doing like a sneak attack on the people on Wall Street, right? So she said this is so she got the microphone right, and she said this is MC Light for PETV. We're inside Wall Street looking for bass heads. Let's look, you know, said let's see what we can find, right? So she opened the door, right, and all of the executive folks in there, they in there snorting and they hide and they steady trying to grab, they hide their face and all that kind of shit. so damn. Oh, hopefully he'll come back. He'll come back. So in either case, for those y'all, because I posted that up on both of my Facebook accounts. So, but then again, they're like say you ain't got a doggone
yeah, what happened? I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah. I was laughing my ass off. That's what happened.
Yeah. but they were, man. They were sitting up there, so they caught him in the act, in a sense. Now, that was in the late 80s. I want to say that video came out like 88. Yeah, it had been around about 1988, right? And so let's fast forward, right? This is 2023, right? So you might as well go ahead and say that's what 35 years.
Jeez, exactly.
You know, but you know, beforehand, you know, and you know, and so my thing is, you know, not to say, you know, my thing is this: who's to say what goes on or what has gone on in the White House? These motherfuckers just got caught this time around.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so I mean, because here it is. Let's think about it. So let's actually really stop and look at it for a minute. So Biden and crew, they snorting cocaine. And so when
You
and
know, there
then
was rumors about that a couple years ago that they were shooting them up with something, and then I'm
really,
like, "There's no, yeah, there was." I know Trump took he had a prescription because like they sometimes what they do is they say they want the health records just to prove your stamina, to prove your your healthiness, and he
uh,
takes some sort of it's essentially like Adderall, but he
yeah,
doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he just doesn't do that stuff, but he does
uh,
take that medication. He takes something else that's basically it's to reduce hair loss, but the effect of it literally it like creates like a jaundice like effect which makes the skin look orange. So they're like, oh, he's tanning, he's spray, it's an effect from the drug so he could keep his hair. And he did that, and he said during the debate, Joe, why don't you release your health records as well? You want me to release my tax records, release your health records. And
yeah,
they were saying no. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why wouldn't you just do it?
mhm,
Obviously, there's
yeah.
something
But you know,
compromising in there. And his son, which is a big piece of crap, I'm telling you right now. That guy, I'm not telling you anything new, but
yeah,
his brother, the son of Joe, his brother, his own brother, the son of his father's, when his, which was an army veteran, by the way,
yeah,
he didn't die in Iraq because Joe likes to tell the story that he died in combat. He did not die in combat. He was retired by that point and had a brain cancer and died then. But he makes it sound as if he died in combat.
oh, okay,
Yes, he was a veteran. Yes, he was, but he did not die in combat. Okay, he was not KIA.
hmm, yeah,
After that happened, do you know Hunter had an affair with that woman?
okay,
No, that's on record. That's not speculation. That's not conspiracy. That's on record. That's just
oh,
one of the few things little Hunter did, right?
yeah,
Besides making deals with the Chinese, rolling around in Ukraine, doing crack, taking pictures, videos, leaving laptops in Iowa at a repair shop, and being a complete embarrassment to this fucking country as a first son.
yeah,
Um, he's just a piece of shit. It is what it is.
yeah. But you know what though? It's funny that you bring up health records because President Kennedy, when he was in office, they said that this guy had like severe like back problems. I mean, like it was like so severe, right, that they really didn't think he should have been president of the United States. You know, and so now I look at it now, right? So here it is. You got cocaine in the White House, right? And then just know that this is like the first time that they got caught, right? And then let's look at President Clinton. They accused him of smoking marijuana, and he got his dick sucked in the Oval Office.
Exactly.
So and then you
And when
got
he
his
was in Mena, Arkansas, what was he fucking doing there? He settled sexual abuse cases
yeah,
that fucking spanned over several years.
yeah. I used to tell people all the time, right? I said, look, everybody that's here in the state of Arkansas, right? We're already used to what the fuck he doing. 'Cause he
Yep.
did it when he was governor. So I'm like, okay, this ain't nothing
Slick,
new to us.
Slick Willie.
Yeah, that's exactly what we call it. Slick Willie. Right? So I'm like, hell, he did this as governor. I mean, y'all just everybody else know now. So it's so I'm just like, if it ain't no telling what else. I mean, so it did
That's
again.
just what we know happened.
Yeah, and then it did again, going back to President Kennedy. He, let them tell it, in which I think there's public record that he had an affair with Marilyn Monroe,
Oh yeah.
right? So it just goes to show you, right? Everybody, which I ain't got no problem with. Everybody wants to put the president like as the top tier guy.
How about Ronald Wake? She's known to suck her way to the top all throughout the Hollywood elite. Because before Ronald Reagan was president, he was
Yep.
just a Hollywood star. It's on record what
Yeah.
the fuck that bitch was up to. Not kind of, not probably. It's on record for a reason.
Yeah.
And guess what? Hold on. And guess what? Who knows what the fuck Michelle Obama's up to? And speaking of her husband,
Big Mike?
wherever the fuck Hussein's at, who
Yeah.
your vice president, your guy in office who was there for 8 years with you, changing democracy, changing the country, all of a sudden, all this shit comes out and hits the fan. Where's the support? You know why there's no support? Shit. That's why. It's shit. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Oh yeah. What did you think about the guy? Because they arrested somebody near his house. Because I mean, there was like a couple of about a month ago. They saying that they I guess somebody was around Obama's house, so they arrested him and all that kind of shit. So, but yeah, so I'm just like, so they're like saying, everybody wants to put the president up there, right? Which for the most part, I ain't got no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is just once you put somebody up there, right? It's almost like you forget that one important detail. They're human beings just like everybody else.
Yep.
They are men first, and then every goddamn thing second.
Yep.
Meaning, if you want to get your dick sucked in the White House, then hey, that's what the fuck is gonna happen. Or if you want to snort coke in the White House, then okay. But now, is it wrong? And especially if you married, yeah, you goddamn right. But then again, this has happened throughout history. Men, powerful men, have done things that, for the most part, if it would have got out in the public, then yeah, you stand to take some type of motherfucking serious hit. Your reputation was gonna take a hit, depending on what the fuck that you did, and then you try to turn around and lie about it.
And that's the thing. In today's day and age, here's the thing. That's all good and great. You're a CEO, do whatever you want. You're a millionaire, you're a billionaire, do whatever you want. When you're the type of person that's in the White House,
yeah,
it holds a certain credence. There's no reason. You have financial security, you have longevity, you have all of this. But when you start being the representation of the United States of America and doing this shit, now the narcissism and the ego goes way too far.
Yeah.
I don't even have a problem saying, if the guy just said, you know what, I fucked up, I got a problem, I don't want the country to be represented like this, I got to step down. No problem. Hey, it is what I'm not going to judge as somebody who's had issues.
At least, you know what? At least
step the fuck down. I think people respect it more, honestly. I mean,
yeah, at least President Nixon, he had enough about himself to say, "Hey, look, I resign."
Yep, exactly.
So again,
there's actually honor in that. It's fucked up when you're giving more credence to Tricky Dick than this motherfucker at 46 president.
Yeah, I know, right? So, but my whole deal is,
seriously, if he just said, "Listen, I'm stressed out. I serve this country. I think it's in the best interest of myself and the United States of America to just accept what's going on, and I have a very competent vice president. I don't know whatever the fuck that bitch is cackling at, yelling, but she will be the first woman and woman of color to lead it." No, they're not doing any of that fucking shit. They have no honor. These people are in too deep.
Yeah. Yeah, and so just like say, so just like what I said, like when we was in, and then just like say, you get, just like say when you get promoted and you get that power or whatever, and then sometimes that shit go above the individual will act like really take it above and beyond what it should be, because just like I said, all of the motherfucking sex rings that happened there at Fort Hood.
Jesus.
And then what's so bad about it, it's the motherfucking E7 that's the goddamn, if put like this, if a soldier got raped, right, then they gotta go to this motherfucker.
Oh,
So
God.
I'm like, okay, so how that work? Right? A motherfucker, a soldier come to you, they done got raped or whatever technical term that they got for it now, right? You know, so I'm like, here it is that
Yeah,
I'm
you've been
involved.
sexually assaulted, and all of a sudden you have to report to this process.
Yeah, and you reporting to the biggest pimp on motherfucking Fort Hood.
Jesus Christ.
You know, so or what was Fort Hood. So,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm just like, come on now. We got, you know, we gotta do better. We gotta do better than what the fuck we doing. Or what the fuck they doing. Right? You know, so it is what it is, man. So Jill Scott, we talked about this the other day on the phone, right? And her remix of the national anthem.
I like the way you said that. The remix.
Yeah. And you know, but my thing is because I watched other people's reaction on it, and then I saw some of the comments, and for me, right, me serving 21 years, you serving, right, anybody that's put on a uniform, regardless of branch, yeah, you feel it, you're gonna feel a certain type of way, but at the same time, though, right, I also look at it, okay, if indeed, if we actually really follow the Bill of Rights, the First and Second Amendment, right? Freedom of speech, right to bear arms, or if I need to flip it around, hey, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about here. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms, right? You know, this is what's entitled, right? You know, and so my whole deal is, if it was that bad, they should have did her the same way that they did Forrest Gump, right? Because he was sitting up there talking, and they snatched the mic, right? You know, they pulled it, but they let that shit play out, right? And for the most part, right, you know, I just look at it like this. You either gonna sing or talk about what you see on a daily basis. This is supposed to be the greatest country in the world, right? And for the most part, hey, look, I was born here. I was stationed in Germany. I was stationed in Korea twice. Saudi Arabia. I did, like I said, I've been the whole world over. You have been the whole world over, right? Other places is nice, but you always want to go back home.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever home is, right? But at the same time, I look at it like, okay, if this is how this woman felt, it's like I said, it's no different than what the fuck Kaepernick tried to do, what Ali, Jim Brown, Kareem, all with those guys tried to do back in the 60s, right? So, but at the same time, these motherfuckers tell you that we're making progress. But at the same time, put like this, if they said it back then and motherfuckers is saying it now, you almost got to ask yourself, okay, so what type of progress is actually really being made here? You know, because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna ask you a question. Who would you rather sing the national anthem? Jill Scott or that shit what Roseanne Barr did years ago?
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, I'm just, but then again,
I have a different answer. How about Whitney Houston?
what's that?
I said I'd rather have Whitney Houston sing it.
Okay, yeah, all right, you know.
How about none of these dumb bitches sing it? How about that
but
shit? How
but you
about
know what
Beyonce
though?
sings it and gets paid a fucking bucket?
Yeah, but you know what though? I'm gonna tell
But
you something.
you know what I'm saying? Here's the thing though. It's a slippery slope and it's difficult because I like what you're saying because it's like, yeah, we don't appreciate it. However, you fought for the individual to be
Yeah,
able to do it. So, in my mind, it's
yeah,
sort of the best of both worlds. It was the worst of both worlds,
yeah.
and
It's the
you know what I
ultimate
mean. Like
catch
it is what it
22.
is.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate, catch 22.
Yeah,
Because
exactly,
it's
exactly.
almost like, well, damn, I fought for freedom, but I'm like, well, damn, I didn't know they was gonna take it this fucking far.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
there's
know?
no exactly. There's no decorum. However, technically, quite frankly, she should be able to say whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah,
Now, whoever set this shit up, I have some questions for you as a professional, but in a free market system because we live in this country. But I thought it was distasteful. But make no mistake, I will never, ever. As soon as we start saying she can't do that, the country's over. She should absolutely be able to do it. I don't think you should, but you definitely should have the right. If somebody told her, no, you can't do it, absolutely not, it's illegal, well, that's another conversation, and that's incorrect. So, like you said, it's the quite the quagmire. It's the catch 22.
yeah, and and again to go back to once again go back to my favorite rap group, Public Enemy. They did another song, and the title is "Ain't Nothing But a Song," right? But Chuck D, he actually really broke down the American flag, how he saw it, as far as like back then. He said, "The red is for the blood that we shed as a people. The blue is for those sad ass songs that we be singing in church, the blues. For the white man's heaven is the black man's hell. The stars is what we saw when our ass got beat. Stripes is for the whip marks on our back. The white is for the obvious. Ain't no black in that flag. Land of the free, home of the slave." Now,
Wow. I never
now,
heard that, by the way. That's pretty
yeah, it,
profound.
but now you can do a comparison, right? Now that what Jill Scott said, okay.
How old is she, too? I don't think people know that. I think she's
Hold
old,
on, let's because I don't know how old she is neither, but
at least 40, right? 40, 50?
yeah, yeah, because I'm pretty sure that I'm older than she is.
Hmm.
Well, she's 51.
Okay. Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
so matter of fact, so yeah, so
The reason
again,
I say that is like think about her, the people who are generation or her. I mean, just she heard stuff like that, and then also her direct relatives went through some. Not that people don't go through it, but imagine 50-year-old, 51-year-old black woman,
yeah,
what her relatives went through and what she heard around, and that's her view on what's going on. That's, I mean, that's
yeah.
to me, it's important. You know.
Matter of fact, listen. I was born April 1st, 1973. She was born April 4th, a year prior.
Oh wow,
So but the
wow.
thing, but then again though, I look at it like this, and she was born in Philadelphia. So, but my whole deal is this, right? You know, growing up in the 70s, yes, it was a different time frame, right? And depending on what part of the country that you was in, yeah, you saw shit that you probably shouldn't have seen, right? But for me, right, I found out like at an early age, right? 'Cause, but I would always ask questions, and then the questions that I had, right, nobody could actually really answer them for me, right? Because because I would say, okay, so-called black, so-called white, then it's racist. Well, what happens when it's black on black? Or what
Mm.
happens when it's white on white? What do you call it then? And so I'm just like, couldn't nobody answer that for me. And just like I said, when I was on that other podcast some 2-3 years ago, I asked them the same thing. They couldn't tell me, even though back then, even then, I knew what the fuck the answer was. I knew what it was, right? But when, as a young child, growing up, and I had these questions, couldn't nobody answer them for me. But then I just actually really just started thinking about it, started researching shit, and be like, "Oh, wait a minute now, somebody lying some goddamn where." Because if we all supposed to be human beings here, regardless of color, we're all human beings. Ain't no goddamn race. There's only one race because, again, me and you served this country. We both served in the United States Army. And I was the goddamn EO rep. I can't tell you how many times I done raised my hand and I done told these people, hey, I'm A positive. How many white folks here? And after a while, I stopped saying white folks. I said, I would say this, how many white folks or so-called white folks got the same blood type I got? Right? Raise your hand. Right? And depending on how big the room was, about half had the same blood type that I had. I said, so then I would ask questions. So where's the goddamn racism in that?
You know what? Now I know why I liked you. We get the same blood type. I'm A positive too. now it's making sense.
Yeah.
Now some of these B- motherfuckers, they could get it. I'm just kidding.
But you
no, it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? It does.
Yeah, you get it right. I've been trying to figure out. I mean, put like this: if I had to go, if I was to get into a car accident or something like that, and I need a blood transfusion, right? I'm not going to sit up here and say, "Oh, where it come from?" As long as it's A positive, I can give a damn, right? That's how it should be. And then, you know what? Though, I really wish that shit wouldn't have happened to Alex Jones because sometimes I think we should like
they messed up with him, man. That was fucked up what they did.
Yeah, somebody, and then who's to say? I don't know who the fuck I need to talk to, but me and you need to travel across America.
I would love that.
And we just ask questions.
Yeah.
What do you think racism is and why?
Yeah.
Because the thing about it though, it's like everybody is gonna have their opinion. And I have no problem with that. I really don't. But because the only reason why I'm saying this because Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? He's retired from wrestling. So basically, he cut a deal with A&E, right? And so he's doing the show, right? I think they just finished. They just did the last episode of season 1. I don't know how long he's gonna do this, but it says Stone Cold Travels America. And so for the most part, this motherfucker have been somewhere everywhere. He's trying new things, and this motherfucker, he's actually really enjoying life, right? And I always felt, damn, you know what, me and you need to do some stuff like that. But just ask the questions. I'm like, hey, look, where do you feel that the country is going? Do you like who's in office? Did you like the motherfucker that was in office? Right? What do you think racism is? Just get as much information as we can.
You know what we should call it?
What's that?
5 questions, 50 states.
Yeah. Remember we thought about it. We talked about it.
We discussed something like that. That it's actually a brilliant idea. That's exactly what it needs to happen. Because once you get in someone's face and you're just actually face to face with them, you're talking, you're there, you're jovial. It will be a very interesting social experiment and probably an important thing for individuals to digest across the country. And just like most people, they're working at Best Buy, they're a manager here or doing something there. People who decide to serve provide a certain function in this country, and this country needs those answers, and it could just help the discord a little bit. It can help the discussion. I really believe that. 5 questions, 50 states.
Yeah, I mean because just like I said, and
It'd
me
be
and you,
interesting to see differences too.
yeah, and me and you, we've actually really talked about this. And just like the guy, you remember the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? He said that it should be a requirement for every American once they turn 18 to serve at least 2 years. To serve this country, you need to give this country at least 2 years of your goddamn life,
I
right?
believe that. They should.
So that way you can actually like really, for one, get outside of your home state, regardless of where it is.
Mhm.
Get your ass out, go motherfucking see the country, see the world, right? See how other people do things. And then once your 2 years is up, if you like it, you re-enlist. If not, carry your ass back home, right? But just know that you can that could be part of your motherfucking resume, right? And then you go get a job and then hey, we wish you the best. But I just feel like that, and again, we've talked about this 21 years, and I'll be the first one to say that's the best. I'm 50 now, right? But that's the best 21 years that I ever actually like really uh experienced, because it took me outside of the state of Arkansas. It took me outside of this country. And I've met a lot of interesting people. I'm friends with a lot of them, you being one of them. And so I'm a better person behind it. I always felt that I was pretty good, but I'm better behind it because it's like what I said in my book. I dared to be a motherfucking success. And I am a goddamn success. I'm retired. I ain't got to do this shit no more if I don't want to.
Exactly.
you know?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
It's true. People don't want to do it, but I'm like every once in a while when I'm dealing with some stuff or whatever, and just normal life stuff, I look back and I say, like when I'm really going through it, I say, the best decision I ever made was joining the army. I'm telling you, there was times in the beginning. Let's just say, you leave MEPS, you get to boot camp, you're thinking in your mind, oh shit, this or that. Did I make the right decision? Did I make the wrong decision? Without a shadow of a doubt, I look back on it and I said, one, I miss it, and then two, it was the best decision I made.
Yeah.
For several reasons,
Yeah,
whether it's
exactly.
for several reasons, whether it's benefits, camaraderie, experience, resume, but even more than that, a purpose in
Yeah.
doing something. I just it makes you see the world different. And when I see like younger guys too, like around my neighborhood, like there's high school kids who are like I don't know, maybe 15 or something like that, 14, 15, and they're little knuckleheads just like I was at the same age. I was the exact same way.
Yeah.
They start talking and this and that, and there's been a few of them where it's like they're aimless, like they're problems. And I talk to their family, I talk to people, just they happen to be neighbors, and I'm like, they need to join the military, and the mom is immediately sort of like, dismissive, like no, like no, over my dead body, he'll never go. I said, listen, it's the best thing you could do if you want some, rolling around here at 2021 causing problems for the society and yourself, man. You should
Yeah.
allow him to go to the military. If he wants to come back when he's 22, 23 and he didn't like it, he'll be better off. And that's
Yeah.
the nicest way I could say it. And
All right.
man to man, generally there's not a dad there, which is that's been the case a lot. But the dad would just say, yeah, you're right. He needs to get his stuff together. There's a
Yeah.
reason he's aimless, number one. And number two, it's only a benefit. And number three, he's protecting this country. country that we both live in right now. Period. I don't see the downside to it. Not that I'm a recruiter, but I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if he becomes a piece of shit and becomes a problem in the society, he's gonna get dealt with, especially in Florida. Like they're not messing around. He's gonna end up in jail or he's gonna end up in a hospital.
Yeah. And, I gotta two things. Um, my dad, right? Because I'm second generation Army, right? And he was telling me the same thing. He said, "Why don't you join the Army?" And at the time, if you could believe it, I was like, "Look, I ain't gonna join the Army," right? And so he kept telling me, "Well, why not?" He said, "I mean, because my dad, right, when he graduated high school, he went straight to the Army recruiter, and he did his 20. So my dad retired at 38 years old, right? So then when I came in at 24. So I wasn't right at 44 when I retired, but I was like 43 and some change. I was getting ready to turn 44. And it's just for the simple fact that everything that he told me, it actually like really came to pass. And you know, I go to the gym, and I'm gonna tell you something though, Zach. I weigh myself every damn day. Like it's really gonna like it's really gonna make him. I may lose a pound here, I may gain a pound there, or whatever. And then one of the folk asked me, he's like, "Why do you weigh yourself every day?" And so I just told him, I said, "Look, because in the game of life, it's a matter of inches and it's a matter of pounds."
Huh.
And so he's like, "What the fuck you talking about?" I said, "Well, because depending on the exercise, I try to do 80% of my weight. So let's just say, for instance, if I go in the gym and I'm weighing 210 pounds, right? I times it by 80%, and I'm like, okay, this is the weight that I'm gonna work with today, right? And so, like, say, like Wednesday or Thursday of that same week, I get on the scale again. So now I done went from 210 to 205. So again, I'm gonna take the weight that I am at that day, and I'm gonna times that by 80%, and then whatever the calculator tells me, that's the weight that I'm actually to work with that day, right? And so then I actually really told the guy, I said, "Listen, it's almost like doing manual data almost." And see, when I said manual data, that shit went right over his head, you know, because you know how we used to in place launches, right? You can never put like this. It's always gonna put like this. You can do the evaluation at the same spot every goddamn time, but just know that that shit is gonna be a little off than what it was the day previous.
Right. Right.
But at the same time, though, you gotta actually like really compensate for what it was yesterday until today, because if you off even a milli, uh, what's the small? If you off
Millimeter.
an eighth of an inch,
Right.
right? Then that eighth of an inch might have just caused 30,000 people to lose their life.
Yeah.
And so, and that's why I said, this is why I weigh myself every damn day, because you don't weigh the same every goddamn day.
Yeah.
You're not going to come in here and do the same shit the exact same way that you did it the day previous. And so, for the most part, I just felt like if they looked at it, I mean, that great the fact the United States Army ain't for everybody. The armed forces ain't for everybody. But all what I'm saying is this: you're a different person than what the fuck you were the day previous. So you can't do shit the same way. Yeah, you might think that you're doing it the same way, but if you actually really break that shit down, and actually really break it down to a science as far as like brushing your teeth. Meaning, you put the tube on you put the paste on your brush, and you may start on the left side, but today you start on the right. Yeah, you still brushing your teeth, but look at how the fuck you started from the day previous. And so that's so basically that's all what the fuck I be trying to tell people, right? Pay it, it's the same thing that I told my son. It's the same thing that I tell my daughter. Pay attention to motherfucking detail.
Yeah. Attention to detail.
I mean, because here it is. Speaking of my son, July 17th, my son would turn 30 years old.
Wow.
And I got 2 grandkids out of the deal. And so just think about that for a minute. He caught all of my motherfucking military career. Damn near. And I'm a better person for it. He a better person for it because I transferred my educational benefits off to him. Because I told him, I said, look, I'm going to retire. I ain't going to do shit else.
That's huge.
Right? I ain't going to do shit else. I'm retired. Get on my goddamn level.
Yeah.
So
Well, even just as just as a person in life, the ability to be able to do that, to exchange that benefit, to transfer that benefit to a dependent. I mean, that's that in itself tells you one of the benefits of doing it. I feel like I'm sounding like a recruiter. I'm not. It's just it's impacting my life so much, and God, that's a beautiful thing because one of the most important things in this world, in this country, especially, let's just say go back 50 years. It's like being able to go to college was one rare, but being able to pay for it is another thing.
Yeah.
And to be able to transfer that, I mean, that is remarkable. And maybe people take it for granted, but that's fucking remarkable.
And to think about it, he went to college. He's a licensed barber and a chef.
There you go.
And so he don't own
real life skills, though.
Listen, he don't own nobody's shit.
Exactly. Clean.
Okay. So I'm just saying, and I can, and for me, as a father, right? I like, you know what? I did that.
Yep. You contributed.
Yeah.
That, I mean, to me, victory. Score 1. World 0. I mean, in today's day and age, that actually means something.
Yeah, I mean, because my mother and my dad and just everybody in my family, even my neighborhood, they all looked out. They didn't just look out for their kids. They looked after all of the parents knew each other.
Right.
So it is like, where's my son? And all what the hell my mom had to do is put like this. If they didn't call her first, right? She's like, hey, look, I got him. He over at our house eating. And it was the same thing. They come to my house and they eat.
What's interesting is the way you say that. Like, I think I was probably the last generation that did that, because when I was, let's say, elementary, middle, and high school, there'll be times exactly like you're saying where it's like, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you used to have to use a house phone, not a cell phone.
Yeah.
You use a house phone, and I'd call back, and like I'd be hanging out with my buddy. We'd be doing whatever, playing football, messing around, whatever it is. And then their parents would be making dinner, and they said, do you want to stay for supper? Do you want to stay for dinner? And you stay at their house and you eat, or you have a sleepover, whatever. I'm telling you, These kids nowadays, they do not do that. They don't do it. It's
Yeah.
all digital. It's digital. No, maybe some kids are doing it. I can't speak for everyone, but I can see the kids in this neighborhood that I grew up in. It's just not there. There was no cell phone. You know how where's so and so? Well, you'd see a couple bikes or whatever in front of a house thrown on the front lawn, and
Yeah.
that's where they were at. Or we played a lot of sports. We'd be either
Yeah.
playing basketball, football, whatever, and you'd see us doing that. Or running around the lake. We did a lot of fishing. We'd be doing that. You just see people doing stuff. I'm telling you, what blew my mind, right? What blew my mind is when like school started around here.
Yeah.
I'd be driving like in the morning. I'd be going to the gym or going to Walmart, whatever, like going to get some groceries, and there'll be 30 kids in front of the neighborhood, and I'm like, where are these kids during the day?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
we raised hell. I mean, God bless these neighbors; they didn't give a damn. But you would hear like we were around.
Yeah.
Now they're in the phone. That's it. They're in the phone.
And you know what?
And there's something said about some fights. There's something
Yeah.
to be said about playing some games, making some real friendships. It's just, I'm telling you, these kids are different now, man.
Yeah. And then just to show you how connected I am, I grew up here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Remember Rocky what was it? Rocky Five, where that he got bankrupt and then he had to go back to where
Oh
he
yeah,
should.
go back home.
Yeah. And so for me, right, I tend to look at my life the exact same way. I'm not bankrupt, but it's just for the fact I started here in Little Rock, Arkansas. I joined the army, did 21 years, and guess where the fuck I'm back at? I'm back
Yeah,
here. I'm back home. I'm
full
back in
circle.
Little Rock, Arkansas. And then here it is. I'm married to the woman that lived across the street from me when we was kids.
That's wild, right there.
Okay, so you I mean if now that within
That's
itself,
wild.
you think about it, that within itself is a story worth telling. In
Hold
which,
on. Around the world in the war business,
yeah,
that you want to talk about full circle? That's fucking full circle right
yeah,
there. In the truest sense of the word. Like, think about that. That is full circle. That's full globe.
yeah. I'm almost about ready to say if I really didn't think that the woman, I don't know who sung it, right, but it was a song, and she was saying like, well, I don't know the actual title of it, but she's like, well, I've been around the world, and I can't find my baby, but I've been around the world, and I found my baby.
There you
So
go.
but the thing about it was this: growing up as kids, Zach, I can tell you some shit that we did, and I mean,
Yeah, I know what you
look,
mean.
look, we would climb the house, and then we would listen. Hold on, look, we either jump off the house, or we listen. Hold on, or we jump to the other house. Not really sure that we was gonna make it or not, but we kids didn't give a damn, right? Wasn't no motherfucking just like you said, wasn't no motherfucking internet, wasn't no goddamn cell phone, wasn't no video games, at least not as high tech as they are now. So we created shit.
You have no idea how much how you just made me laugh. This is fucked up. My mom told me a couple days ago, right? She said this is something you could never do.
Yeah,
Hold on. We in my old house, we had I must have been let's say 13, maybe 12. Anyways,
yeah,
I started taking just like 2x4s. It climbed up in a tree and
yeah,
nailing them, making a tree house. It wasn't really a tree house. There were no motherfucking walls, but a platform that you could climb up in and this type of shit.
yeah,
We covered it with a little tarp, right? And then I had two of my buddies come over and we slept out there. And all the parents, nobody seemed to have an issue with it. They were just like, yeah, they're just up there in the tree fort. They're gonna spend the night there. If you tried to do that, they will put you in fucking jail if you let your kids do that.
Exactly.
They will literally put your ass in jail to do that. I was barefoot. I was drinking out of a fucking water hose, and I was
Yeah,
in a
we did too. We did too. I mean, because here it is. I really wish I knew the motherfucker who invented the super soaker, because I would beat his ass. Because all what the fuck that bastard did, because we did the exact same thing. When your mama went to the grocery store and bought the 409, and you couldn't wait till that motherfucker got empty, because you already knew if you turned the knob just enough, it was gonna be a long stream.
There you go.
That's the goddamn super soaker right there. And because I know that's all what the fuck he did. And then the shit, I mean, I could never skate, but the thing about it was this, the shoe part of the roller skate. Once it got too raggedy, guess what the fuck we did? We cut the shoe part off, got us a piece of wood, nailed it to the skate the best way we could. We sat on it and went down the hill.
There you go.
And then now that shit is a motherfucking sport. And I told my son that. I said, damn, they didn't make what we used to do because we didn't have shit else to do. Now it's a goddamn professional sport.
Yeah. We would play, we used to have this park in this neighborhood right here. I'm on the tail end of this generation. And every day we had a generation of kids. It must have been, I don't know, 12 of us. And you could play football.
Yeah.
And we got fucking good. And here's the thing. The shit we were yelling, the way it echoed off this wall. I think about these other houses. I'm like a grumpy old man now. If I hear some shit outside, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I go out there, hey, calm down, Karen, get the fuck inside. Basically what I should be saying. Because God knows these same people who are about 20 years older now are the same. A lot of them are the same people who saw me rolling around this bitch, acting crazy, playing football. Everybody had a football. Everybody had a basketball. Okay, you're going to bring this. You're going to bring that. Blah, blah, blah. We would be out there. I go to that park now. I bring my young one out there, right? And it's just, it's empty. Nope, it's nice. They fixed it. There's like a new park and a new thing, but there's nobody playing sports in there. Yeah. Yes, if you go to the sports field, like they have like academies and all this other stuff and, organized events. I'm talking about just neighborhood sports. It does not exist here anymore, and that blows my mind.
Yeah, I know.
You used to be able to drive around my neighborhood and you would see, I don't know, if you had to count them conservatively, it would be 15 to 20 basketball hoops in a yard. Like literally, like in front of people's houses. It does not exist.
No, it don't. It don't.
Now everyone's homeowners association, everyone's mailbox is the same, this, blah, blah, blah. Where the hell are these kids at? It's just like, I don't know. Maybe I was a heathen, but I'm the same heathen who, went in that fucking recruiting station.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask you this? Because I know we used to do it. Did you ever play Frisbee football?
Never did that, but it sounds fun. I could tell you that.
We did.
I'm imagining what that is.
Yeah, we did Frisbee football.
Football rules with a Frisbee.
Yeah, exactly.
Like ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah, and so that
okay.
Was
maybe I did do that. Yeah.
So that was like the funnest shit that we ever did.
Oh hell yeah! You know how to whip that thing.
Yeah, I mean we ride there thinking that we Evil Knievel. We motherfucking taking our bicycles, jumping over motherfucking grocery carts and shit. I mean, this is what the fuck we did as kids. I got scars right now because I'm trying to be motherfucking Evil Knievel. Right? So, I mean, but the thing about it though is this. We grew up, we did shit that we knew that we didn't have no business doing. Right? But like jumping from house to house. I'm like, who the fuck does that? Like, seriously. So, but it's what the fuck we did. I mean, because none of our parents didn't have enough money to be talking about sending you to a boys club, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, but we invented shit. We invented shit to do, right? And so, and just like say, like when I was still in Texas, and my granddaughter, right, we would go out to the park, and I see all the other parents there, and some of the grandparents, and then she want to climb the tree, or she'll ask me, "Well, Papa, can you climb that tree?" I go climb the tree,
Yeah,
right? And
I used to
then
love climbing trees.
and then everybody else looking at me like, "Damn, he can still climb trees at his age," you know. But it's just,
You can just
you
climb
know, but
trees. You're like,
yeah,
yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, you just climb the tree.
I'm like, shit. I mean, okay, I was like in my late 40s. Yeah, motherfucker, I can still climb a tree.
Yes.
And I can run circles around your ass right now. But the thing about it though is that
Ah,
my granddaughter, she wanted to see me climb a tree.
that's funny. Can you climb a tree? Yeah, I can climb a
Yeah,
tree.
yeah, I climb a motherfucking tree. So I mean, but it's just for the simple fact that my granddaughter, that's what she wanted to see her papa do.
Yeah.
So I did it.
Oh my
Right?
god.
So and then like my other
These are people who
granddaughter,
never they never climbed a tree before. That's all we used to do. Wait at the bus stop. Oh, you could climb that one. You could do. I did
yeah.
that shit. Maybe it's a southern thing. I don't fucking know.
And then and
I,
then and,
I
and
don't
then
see kids climbing trees now either. I've never seen a
yeah,
kid
yeah,
climb a tree in my life.
and then my other granddaughter, we went to go take her to this one place for her birthday, and they had like this zip line thing in the building, and it went around the whole building,
Oh
right?
wow.
And so I just said, you know what? Let me get up here, cause she's like Pop, because this one here called me Pop Pop, right? So she said, Pop Pop, can you do that? I was like, what? You want to see your Pop Pop do that? So she said, yeah. So okay, I'm finna get on, right? And so I got on it, and then I went around that whole building. But the fact, there was a couple of parts that I got stuck, and I'm looking behind me like, Lord, please don't let no child come in, right? But I made it. But listen, I made it around the whole building. But the thing about it, but you know what was really special about that though? Them other men saw me do that, and guess what the fuck they did?
Follow suit.
They followed suit.
Yeah.
And
They
then my
knew they
wife,
wanted to do it.
yeah, and then my wife, she looked at me, she's like, "Baby, look what the fuck you just started." I'm like, "Well, hey, that's what the fuck I do."
Oh my
And
goodness.
then I told her, I said, "Look, 21 years United States Army. What the fuck what do you expect? I'm
Yeah.
a goddamn leader. That's all what the fuck I did. That's all what the fuck I know."
They're afraid to have fun. You still have to have fun as a dog. It's just like, oh, this looks interesting. Let me try it. But people are just sitting around. It's the ego. They're just sitting around like, oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm not. Just go do it. Like really, like
Yeah.
your ego is that goddamn tough that you can't go do it. Like go do something. Go
And
do
then
something.
and then
You
and
know you
then
want
there
to
was,
do it.
and then there was another thing that she wanted me to do. And I'm thinking that once you grab it, right, that it will come down with you, right? But it didn't. It didn't, right? So when I grabbed it, right, I'm like, this ain't going nowhere. So I let it go, and then the shit it turned to flip on me, and so I kind of hit my head, but I was good. But everybody got a good laugh out of it, and then everybody like, dude, you okay? I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine, right? But but it's just for the simple fact, and then once they found out how old I was, they're like, damn dog, you doing it at your age? I'm like, look, hey, look, I'm still a child at heart.
Exactly.
My granddaughter wanted to see me do it, so damn it, I did. So
I
but
don't
let's
know who. I don't know if my dad heard it from somebody. My dad passed away when I was 16.
uh
He had cancer. That's a tough age to sort of.
yeah, I
He,
know,
he
right?
must have been he must have been freaking out. Yeah, I just think about the panic he had and like, is everything gonna be okay? Blah blah blah. But he said one thing to me, right? We're talking, and this is like at hospice, like when he's dying. He said, and I think about this a lot actually. He said, all this, I love you, blah blah blah. Of course, all that, typical stuff. But then he said, like, don't let the world make you hard.
Yeah. Exactly.
Meaning, like, keep that inner thing. Don't forget to laugh. Basically, don't let the
Yeah.
world make you hard.
Uh,
And I see a lot of people, they just get fucking sick. Like they're sick of doing. Like it feels like they're fed up of living. Not that they're
yeah.
suicidal, nothing like that, but they let the world make them hard.
Yeah.
Do not let the world make you hard.
Yeah. It's,
Find
you know
something
what?
find something you enjoy doing. Do what the
Yeah.
fuck you need to do, but find what you really want to do as well. It's
Yeah.
also important.
It's almost, you know what? It's almost kind of like how um, me and my dad were. We was we had to go cut some grass. I don't know if it was his mother's house or somewhere, right? But it was hot. It was hot, and we called ourselves trying to get up early to beat the heat. But by the time we got up, it was already 80 degrees. So we ended up cutting the grass anyway, right? So then he gonna take his shirt off, and he tried to flex and carry on. He's like, "Yeah, you." He's like, "Yeah, you wish you had muscles like me, right?" So, and I was like, "Dad, seriously." And so I took my shirt off, and so we didn't stop cutting grass, and we sitting up there flexing and carrying on, right? And then my mama, she come out, she like,
So
"Look,
Mr.
both
Olympia.
of y'all need to put." She said, "Both of y'all need to put y'all shirts on, looking like them folk from the Hunger Lands." So, I mean, but it was like, it was stuff that I mean, because I didn't meet my actual dad until I was 19.
Wow.
And so, but the thing about it, though, from the time that we knew each other, he actually really told me, he said, "Hey, look, I can't make up 19 years. Our relationship starts right now." And that was like the best thing that he actually really could have told me. I mean, because you get a lot of motherfuckers,
It's a
they
really
try to
wise thing
explain
to
shit.
say, actually. It's very in that
Yeah.
situation. That's about as perfect as you could say something.
Yeah. And, because you get a lot of folk, they try to explain shit, and then you ain't doing it but just digging yourself in a bigger hole. But
Right.
with my dad, and I miss him. I miss him to death. I mean, he died 2 years ago. Two years. Matter of fact, when I turned, I want to say 49. I was either 48 or 49. He died 24 days later,
Wow.
and I had talked to him. I talked to him on the 17th, and he died 7 days later.
He was reaching out to you. He knew something.
Yeah, I mean, but no, because no, because I'm just saying, "Hey, look, I'm back home," right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, come on, man, be glad to have you," right? So, and I tried to say, "Look, I'm coming to see you next Friday or that Saturday or whatever," and then something happened, and I couldn't get there.
Yeah.
And so that Sunday, my cousin called me. He's like, "Hey, he gone." I'm like, "Fuck you talking about?" He died last night. I'm like, "Are you fucking serious right now? Don't tell me this." Because I just talked to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, and just like my friend.
You know what though? At least you got to say like you're figuring it out. That's
Yeah,
different from no, I'm not. It's like out of anybody on the planet who's going to understand that, it's going to be him. And the fact
yeah,
that he was thinking about you, and plans are plans and life is life. But at least towards the end of his life, you were able to. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, as I guess you'll call them adult children,
right,
wouldn't do that. And at least this is what I say. I talk to a lot of people who they're going through stuff and they're towards the end of life stuff. I've probably
yeah.
had 3 experiences with it,
Uh,
and I told them you don't have to make it all up but just be on the path, be on the journey, because it's the effort that gives a fuck. Because we've been here several other lives. We're gonna be here for several more lives. Get on the journey, and you'll pick it up next time.
Yeah,
That's
he
the way.
was.
I don't know if I'm right, but that's how I feel.
The thing I will say is about my dad, then we'll do the last subject here. He was a great man, not because he served his country, not because not because he's my dad. It's just that he saw it. He saw it differently, and it caused me to see it differently. And this is the reason why me and you are friends today.
Yeah.
Because of how he saw it, and he taught me how to see it the exact same way.
It all matters.
And then and right to this day, it's still so many questions that I had for him. But I get it. I can't do shit. I can't do nothing about it now. But the only like type of relief that I actually really get is when I go visit family and we talk or whatever. And then they always tell me, say, boy, you look, act, and sound just like your daddy.
Huh. Yeah.
And so that gives me all the comfort, that I need. Because here it is. I'm 50 years old. And I still brag about my daddy. I will always brag about my daddy. I don't give a fuck how old I get. I will always talk about John Martindale. I just it is what it is.
That's awesome.
So I'll
That's
leave
awesome.
it alone. I'll leave it alone. So let's
Yeah,
talk about.
But guess what?
What's that?
You're gonna want people to do the same thing. Who wouldn't? And that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful
Trust
thing.
me. Like with my previous marriage or whatever, Rochelle would tell me that, hey, look, Kylie may not tell you this face to face, but he really looks up to you. I'm like, he ain't got to tell me, right? I can see
that
it.
does mean a lot, though.
Yeah, but it's just for the simple fact that, and I guess that's just how males are.
Yeah.
Right? They'll never come and tell you, right? But
yeah,
they go and tell they'll go and tell somebody else.
Stubborn as fuck.
Yeah, they'll go and tell somebody else, in which I ain't got no problem with it. I know that my son, even though my blood doesn't.
You know what they call it? They call it being passive aggressive. That's exactly what the fuck it is.
Yeah, even though my blood doesn't flow through his veins, but damn it, I've been with him man since he was 2 years old, so he belonged to me.
And as he grows up, he fully will understand that. Whatever stories you're hearing, whatever this or that, he's gonna have enough wits about him to fucking understand that.
Yeah. So
sometimes it takes shit. It could take decades. However, if they're chirping to somebody else,
but he called me a few months back.
Yeah, there you go.
He hit me through Messenger, and we talked, and I think it was healing for both of us, me especially.
Yeah,
because I really didn't know,
especially for the parent. Like, how much you invested? How much you invested in that? I mean, of course, it has to be.
Yeah, because I really didn't know what type of bug that his mama put in his ear.
Right, that's the fucking worst. I fucking hate that shit.
So
I hate that shit.
So when he called me, I was like, "Oh shit!" He called, right?
Yeah.
So, but then like I say, Monday is his birthday, so I'm gonna hit him up and tell him happy birthday. You know, man, he finna be 30 years old. So I mean, that just
God,
I mean, just to think about it, just to actually really just stop and think about that for a minute. I got a 30-year-old son.
holy cow!
You know, so it's just I
Ti-
mean,
Yeah, I feel like time is speeding up. Speed time is
you
like
know, so
it's fast forward.
yeah, and you know, and then I look at all of my friends on Facebook or whatever. They got kids, and then here it is. I got grandkids.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, just think about that for a minute. I mean, I have reached the ultimate of parenthood. The only next step for me is to be a great grandfather.
God damn.
I mean, just to actually like really be like,
I feel like I was just in the military. I feel like I'm just on on staff duty with you or battalion duty,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah,
here's
I
the thing.
know.
That was 2010, and I look at the date. I always listen to my a morning show here in Tampa. I listen to a morning show, and they're like, "It's July 14th, 2023," and I'm like, "23? What the
Yeah.
fuck?" Like sometimes they ask you to put like your last date of service in, and I'm like, "What the fuck? What happened to this time? What the fuck?"
But you know what though? You know what though, man? You know, I have to say this. And you know, sometimes I have to actually really stop and think about what the fuck that I've done. Here it is. I got people still in the army that were under me that have read my book. And I think I told you this. One of them, he's actually I really made it part of his classroom curriculum.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah, you were
Yeah,
telling me.
and then I got two soldiers that are now first sergeants. So you know, sometimes
Wow.
I have to actually really stop and think about this for a minute. Okay, and again, I'm like, damn, okay, this is what the fuck I did. And then here it is, you know, when I did it, you know, I wasn't like, okay, well, you gonna be first sergeant one day, you gonna be first sergeant one day, you gonna be AIT instructor one day. You know, when I did it, I didn't know what the fuck they was gonna do.
That's wild.
Hell, they could have said the hell with Sergeant Harris, but they didn't. And you know, so I'm just like, and then I look at you. I look at the shit that you did when you was on Nightline and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, so maybe just maybe I did something right, and it actually really mattered to a few people.
Well, I could tell you it definitely mattered to me, and I could tell you firsthand, my peers, like that younger generation, you made a definite impact on them without question. And
Yeah,
we're getting long winded. I got people
yeah.
yelling in
So
the goddamn living room over here. We
yeah,
need to wrap it up. I could
okay.
talk to you
So
forever, but
give me
yeah.
your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on before we tear out. Give me your thoughts on the sound of freedom or the sounds of freedom.
So all I was able to do is see the trailer, which was incredibly compelling. But I watched on the morning show. I heard Joe Rogan talk about it, but I heard people discuss how they felt. And here's the thing: it takes a lot, sort of, to make me emotional.
Yeah,
When I was watching the trailer, it it grabbed the throat, like it
yeah,
got me like a little like, oh shit. And it's my understanding that it's a true story,
yeah,
and I don't need a movie to tell me that. But there are some individuals who put a lot of money behind a theatrical movie that
yeah,
happens to be like an actual documentary. 'Cause
yeah,
when people say based on a true story, yeah, great, that's good. No, no, this is really based on a true story, and to me, it underlines what really is the most important thing on the planet right now. Um, all these fabricated wars, all the fabricated drama, the political bullshit that's going on. We're not, giving any attention to literally the trafficking of humans. and I see it from a couple different ways as somebody
Yeah,
who's been in Korea and seeing Filipino women. I'm not going to go there with
yeah,
personal stuff being trafficked, and we all know that situation and how that's the oversight with certain
yeah,
departments and
yeah,
groups. I'm not going to go there, but we know
yeah.
what happened there.
What they call what juicy
Yeah,
girl.
Juicy Girls.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone fucking knows it, and it's like there's shuttles from bases going to little
yeah,
districts.
yeah, yeah,
That's highly inappropriate, and
yeah.
you can't have it both ways
No, you can't.
because what it does is it's like, well, those girls knew what they were doing and blah 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 and all this shit. Listen, who's running that shit? I'm not talking about Mama San. I'm talking about who's running Mama San, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And
It's no
people who
different.
know, people who
It's
know
no
know
different. It's no different than when you see the drug dealer,
exactly,
right? And then you be like, okay, well, yeah, you pushing it, but where did you get it from?
exactly,
You
exactly.
know.
Yeah,
So
water finds the lowest level, and
yeah,
you know, I guess if you're from one of these small towns and whatever, that unfortunately that might be the best case scenario. You want to get out of there and you're gonna sell your pussy, essentially.
but
Um,
but
but here's the problem.
oh, you know what? I really, I know you got to go, but the thing about though is this, I, I'm like you. I saw the trailer, right? And I'm like, wow, really? Okay. But I look at it like this, right? Yeah, you went over there. You went over there. But what about the shit that's happening here?
Oh yeah,
And
oh
I'm
yeah,
looking at, and just like what you said, like we was over in Korea. So in Korea, it was the juicy girls, right? So at Fort Bliss, it was the stripper girls.
yep,
Oh, I'm working my way through college, bitch. You not finna go to college,
exactly.
right? So so again, so
Not just
you
that, not even just that. Just the brothels and the fucking massage parlors and the fucking. You don't even have to do that now. You just go online, Backpage.com. It's just if you want to pay for some pussy, it's out there.
yeah, and so again, stripper business, human trafficking, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This shit is just as bad as alcohol and tobacco.
Oh yeah,
And just like I said, me and you both, we have been to our share of strip clubs, juicy girls, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I
yeah,
always felt like, and I've always believed that the strip club is the gateway to porn movies.
yeah. There you go.
So I mean, regardless, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the guy, I applaud him for what he did, right? But I'm just looking at the fact, okay, you went over there. But what about the shit that's happening here? Just like what we talked about earlier with
I
the
could not agree
E7,
more.
with the E7s in the army, the
Yep.
sharp representatives. What about these motherfuckers?
Yeah.
But then again, I also look at it like this. As long as a motherfucker is chasing the American dollar, no matter how high it get or how low it get, right? As far as the females go, if you got enough titty about yourself, and if you got enough ass about yourself, and if you learn how to swing on a pole, suck a dick, and bend over just enough, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there, right? And I mean, it's one of those things that I don't give a fuck what type of task force you have out there. This shit is not gonna stop until motherfuckers actually really start. It's they're like what Denzel Washington said. The shit starts at home. So guess what? If your child see you sucking dick, right? Guess what the fuck you finna do? you finna suck dick, right? And I'm talking about like, you know, if you got a female child or whatever.
You know what was funny?
What's that?
I remember like a little couple years back, we were leaving the beach, right? And I used to, I still do. I love Hooters. And
Yeah,
people say, like, okay, so I'm in a relationship now, but before that, I like we dating girls or whatever, and they say, oh, you just like to go to Hooters because you can look at these bitches and look at this. And I said, no, actually, I actually do like the chicken wings. They actually make a good product. They literally make a good chicken wing. Is what they
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yes, also I do like looking at those things. We're not going to be naive there, but they
yeah,
actually make a good fucking chicken wing. It's
yeah,
delicious to me, for
yeah,
my palate, for my flavor. I like it. Okay, so I went in there, and then one of her friends was saying some bullshit about the beach, da 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 da, this and that. Excuse me, about Hooters. Like, oh, I can't believe these women would work here and do this. I said, listen to me. You just had your fucking pussy hanging out of your fucking bikini when we're walking around on the fucking beach. Like, what the fuck are you? First of all, stop that fucking bullshit in the car. And
yeah.
second of all, you literally were wearing a bikini. You don't have no problem with the public beach. You want to sue the? You want to sue this fucking city municipality? You literally are wearing a fucking bikini outside, around families, around men, around everybody, and now all of a sudden these women are wearing booty shirts at work, unlike your fucking dumbass. And you got a problem with it. And then she,
Exactly,
of
exactly.
course, both these bitches start yelling. And why don't talk to my friend? Like, shut the fuck up. How about that? You guys want wings or not? Well, yeah, we're gonna. Oh, so let me get this right. You're jealous of these bitches, and you still want the wings, and you were just at the beach for fucking 5 hours with fucking suntan lotion on,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
with
But
your
you know
ass
what
in the
though?
net. How about that?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Why are you such an asshole?" Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, "No, I'm not an asshole. You're a dumbass. That's what it is. You're such a piece of." And then it got into it. Blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? Hey, do me a favor. Go inside and get a table. And I just left in the goddamn car. How about
You know
that?
what?
Go eat your own fucking wings, you crazy bitch. How about that?
Okay, you know what though? One last thing that we'll shut it down. It's three type of women that, for the most part, that I really have respect for. The Muslim women, the Muslim women, the Oriental women, and the Amish women. Because the thing about it though, it's like what Muhammad Ali said, and it's like what Minister Farrakhan said, right? They're taught a certain way, right? Look, I'm not gonna show my goodies until I actually really marry somebody, right? And we already know how the Oriental women are.
Yep.
And then the Amish, oh my God, I can only imagine how they do shit, right? So, but everybody else is like, well, if my titties is not big enough, I can go buy bigger titties. If my ass is not big enough, I can go buy a bigger ass. Because here's the thing. I go to the gym every day, and it's this one bitch that come in there, and I'm like, she went and got a butt lift.
Oh Jesus.
And then now you want to come to the gym? The ass to leg ratio is like that. Listen, that bitch look like a spoon. Listen. Her leg, listen, her shit literally goes like this.
Uh,
It got and the leg ain't, the ass is like this, but the leg is like that. So everybody know you got a fake ass. So
uh,
I'm just like, why the fuck you in here?
the only thing you should be doing is touching the wall, doing squats. That's the only thing you should be doing.
You,
Just that's it. We're just doing body weight squats for the rest of your life
and
ever.
then
That's it.
what's so bad about it? It was so bad about it. She got the nerve. Listen, hold on. She got the nerve to have a personal trainer.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm just like, and I'll be wanting to ask the guy. I'm like,
Does she wear
dog,
makeup while she's working out?
yeah. And then she coming in with makeup on. So you know she ain't trying to sweat herself. And then there's another one coming there. She ain't nothing but that big, right? I could take my whole hand and cover her ass, right? But she got the tightest shit on in there. And I'm just like, and you in here for what?
Exactly. Tell them why. Tell them why YMCA Youth Summer Camp is over there, ma'am. You don't need to
Yeah.
be. You don't need to be
I'm like,
here.
I'm like, you in here for what? You
Ah,
little bitty.
just stay at the house. Jump up and down in
No,
front of the television.
you listen. The other day, yesterday, she was in there. And I actually really started telling her, I said, look, bitch, go have a kid, then come back.
Yeah.
Go
Listen,
have a kid, then come back.
honey. As soon as we get some stretch marks, we can start working on something. We need a little something.
Go
Anyhow,
because I'm like, you already got, now, put it like this, you can have abs by default.
no,
Right?
yeah.
And so that's what the folks
Shit.
she look like. She
So does
ain't
some,
got that.
so does some
Look,
meth addicts out there on the street strung out.
look. My chest is bigger than hers, and I'm a man.
Yeah.
My ass is bigger than hers, and I'm a man. So I'm like, what the fuck you in here for?
Yeah.
You doing 30 pounds on every motherfucking machine. The fuck are you in here for?
Yeah, well.
But in other case,
man, we wish you the best of luck. And again, listen, I know this sounds harsh, but maybe have a child that might put 20, 30 pounds on you.
I know, right?
I don't know what that poor child is going to be sucking on when he's trying to get through the first couple years of his life.
So that's what I'm saying, right? You almost like, see, this is why I'm glad that this is why I'm glad I'm retired. This is why I'm glad I'm not a motherfucking personal trainer, because as soon as that little bony bitch came in there, I'll be like, the fuck are you in here for? Like, seriously, right? Go have a child, then come see me. Grow some titties.
What is the point of this?
I'm just saying.
What the fuck is the point of this?
Right, really?
When I was running the kickboxing gym, you have different clients, and you would see, because it's like kind of like boutique fitness. It's a little bit expensive. It was like, I don't know, 100 depending on the time. It was like 110, 115 a month. So you'd have all walks of life in there. But I know what you mean, and it's more personal because you're doing like hand-to-hand stuff and you're kicking, but you do a couple workouts in between the session. And I know what you mean. I'd see some of them. I'm like, who are you? Who are you getting? Who are you getting ready to fight? Like what? Like what is this?
I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you in here?
There was a couple chicks. They were like, they went to like, there was a dental school, so they were younger, but they were like these little skinny whatever. And I'm just like, whatever. And you could tell they're like trying to flirt, blah blah blah. They go there for like they'd be there for like a month or two, and there's like, oh, the trainer, basically like PT. I'm yelling, I'm motivating them. We're hitting pads and shit. And you could tell some of them, they're trying to, they're essentially trying to hook up.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, who I like that fucking 35, 40-year-old who was in there, that MILF in the morning is what I was looking for. I was like, you would think it would be the young college girl. And I'm like, you ain't doing much for me there, sweetheart. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, because here it is. I'm gonna give you like a comparison, right? The grown up that comes into the gym, right? Right. My granddaughter that is 6 years old, right? Her ass is probably just as big, if not as bigger, than that grown up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and so that's why I say, you in here for what? What you doing? Right? Because I look at the exercises what she do. I'm looking at the weight what the personal trainer is putting on there, and I'm just like, and you in here for what?
What's it?
This what you in here? You in here for what?
One time I yelled at this chick. There was this one, I'll never forget it. Well, not we use any last names. First name Savannah, literally.
Uh,
Must have been, I don't know. Let's just say 24. And
uh,
then we're there's a group of people 30. It's a circuit workout
uh,
involving some free weight stuff, some individual workouts, body weight stuff, and then
yeah,
punching and kicking bags.
uh,
And it rolls like in a process. You have to learn sort of some of the stuff. So,
yeah,
anyways, we're hitting pads, right? And she does something, and a song comes on because it's like there's loud music and there's a timer because every 3 minutes you have to switch rounds within
yeah,
9 rounds. So a song comes on and we're doing like this individual thing. She's on round 6 of 9, and
yeah,
this is like the individual time where if you're in round 6 at that point at that day, you get the individual hand workout. Just it's a
mhm,
certain punching combination, and
yeah,
then she says like the song changes and it's like kind of building up. There's like I don't know a 3 second gap or something. She says some smart shit like, "Oh my god, why don't you just change this song?" And I said, "Nobody gives a fuck what you want to listen to." And she looked at
exactly,
me, but no, I'm serious. But she looked at me like she had. First of all, nobody ever said that to her, but she was kind of like trying to flirt or something. Like she thought
yeah,
like this is my moment where I get to be with Zach in the corner and da da. No, no, like, I don't give a fuck about that. And like, and then she's just like, "You're not allowed to talk to me like that. I'm going to cancel my membership." I said, "Well, customer service is right up front. I'll be there here in around 6 minutes." You know,
yeah,
and everyone looked at her like, "Get the fuck out of it!" Like, people are actually paying good money to get a goddamn workout, and like, nobody's giving a fuck about you, especially you, crazy bitch. Get the fuck out of here. But
yeah,
I'm just like, it was unprofessional for me to say it, but I was just like, I don't. When you're in a boxing gym, it's a little different. It's like, no, we're not
yeah,
doing this. This is go to LA Fitness, go jump up and down. Like this is a goddamn. People are paying $110 a month. Your mom's paying for this. Your mom comes works out in the morning. Your mom's trying to hook me up with you. We're not doing that. Tell your mom you don't want to come here anymore. Basically, and it's just like people are paying good money to get motivated and get a fucking workout in here. Like this is not.
yeah,
It's expensive to work out here. Like I have to keep this shit going. Like the
yeah,
PT came out, the Army PT came out. They weren't ready for that shit.
yeah, 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 man. Just like I say, man, I hear you, and just like I say, I go to the gym. Um, very seldom do I talk to anybody in there, and so because I'm in there to accomplish what the fuck I'm trying to accomplish, and then I gives a damn about what the fuck anybody else is doing in there. Um, I mean, great the fact that motherfuckers will actually really stop and watch what the fuck I'm doing, right? But I'm just like, and then they want to come and ask me, leave me alone, right? Because I, you know, the gym for me is not a place where you socialize.
Right.
You your main purpose is to come in there and to work on you where you can actually really look better than what the fuck you did 2 or 3 months ago, right? And so I'm just like, hey, look, I got it, but I'm trying to do a thing. And and it's just for the simple fact I get on that listen, I get on that bicycle every day, and then once I'm done, it's 2 puddles of sweat, right? On either side. And but the thing that really pisses me off is that motherfuckers will watch me and they know that this pool of sweat is on the fucking floor, right? I'll wipe the seat down and then they get on it and act like they did it, right? And I'm like, no, the fuck you didn't just do that. That's my goddamn sweat, right? You didn't do that. So quit fronting, right? But hey, look, I get it, but it's just for the simple fact people like me and you We are a special breed of people, Zach. Just understand that. Nobody did what the fuck we did. Nobody can do what the fuck we doing now. And nobody can do what the fuck we gonna do later on.
I
Right?
agree.
It's just for the simple fact that I will not rest until me and you, whether we go see Alex Jones or not, right?
Oh, we're gonna see. Listen to me. That shit is locked in, dialed
Yeah.
in. If I ever need to call in a favor to that motherfucker, he knows exactly what time it is. And
But this,
here it comes.
yeah,
This is how we're gonna wrap it up.
yeah,
5 questions, 50 states,
yeah.
and one of those
We
states
need
is
to
gonna
make
be
this shit
Texas.
happen. Like seriously, like no bullshit.
We got nothing bullshit around. You're retired, and I'm
Yeah.
dapped. It is what it is.
We need to make that shit happen because people really need to see. They really need to see.
I agree. And shit, I want to do it as just another life experience. Period. At this point in my life,
We've been
you know,
around the world. We've been around the world. So let's travel this motherfucking country, dog. Like seriously, no bullshit.
I'm with you.
Let's travel this goddamn country.
Let's do it.
Like I'm seriously. You talk to whoever the fuck you need to talk to, whatever, and we really need to make this shit happen.
Timing is everything. And
Exactly.
over this journey that we've been doing this media thing, back and forth trying to figure something out. We need a podcast. We need this. We need.
Yeah, I think because at this point of the juncture, I think people
Perfect
know
timing.
us enough. People know us enough where that, oh shit, yeah, I saw them on YouTube or Facebook, or yeah, that motherfucker there, he got a book. So it's not like that we brand new to this shit.
No,
We can do this. Like no bullshit.
it can happen. Not only can it happen, it's like later on today I'll be on YouTube looking at so and 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 so. Those people are just people walking the earth. They've been able to navigate and monetize it. However, it means it's possible, it's graspable, and it'll happen. And let's talk offline about it. But I need to exhaust all resources that I have and actually get my head on my ass and get it done. And it's as simple as this: pick up the fucking dumbbell. You'll get better next week, next week, next week, next week. You pick up another one.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Who knows? Hey, guess what? Hey, who knows? Who knows? We might run into Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Why not?
So,
why not? Breathe it into existence. Why not?
Yeah. So it
Seems like a decent enough man. Why not?
Yeah.
Couple Army veterans who are trying to figure out the truth. Who the fuck? Why not?
Yeah. So hey, man, look. So Zach, listen. I'm talking to you, man to man, right now.
You got it.
We need to make this shit happen.
Let's do it.
Come on now. Let's make this shit happen.
Let's make this shit happen. I'm on board with you. I'm tracking. Believe me.
I'm like seriously because
the time is now. The fucking country needs it. Actually, what we're talking about.
Because I'm just looking at it like this. We both have served this country. We both have served this country. Matter of fact, I done wrote a book about the shit. So, and then the shit that I did previous, I'm pretty sure it's some spectacular stuff that you did previous. So let's put this shit together, man. The gym can only do so much for me. Okay?
I feel you. You need to scratch that itch. I got you.
Yeah, the gym can only do so much for me.
There's other pieces in that puzzle.
Yeah, and it's like I need to get this shit done before the show is over. Before the show is over with.
I agree with you, especially in the way this world's going. Let's get into it. All right.
All right, man. So let's talk about it offline or whatever, and then let's shut it down, and then whatever we can come up with next week, let's talk. Let's talk again.
Beautiful. That sounds great, man.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, peace.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Another outstanding show. Um, really ain't too much nothing that I can say. You know, I'm at this point in my life right now that my dad or my dad, right? They've taught me everything that they can. They both dead and gone, but I carry them inside me, as well as my mother. I've been around this world. I've been around this country, but it wasn't on my own. It was like because because somebody else paid for it. And then even then, if we can actually really make this shit happen, it would actually like really be on somebody else's accord. But I just feel like this is something that needs to happen before the show is over with for me. I have to do this. It's something that I feel like that I have to do. But hey, look, in either case, people, hey, look, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, I'm, damn, I'm actually really forgetting how I do shit. But so hey, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, cross street, round the corner, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. But there's no, if this shit happen, I may not be as crazy as you think. Till next time.